So, you've caught me playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the remake of the one from 2007. Spoilers, by the way. I don't know why I'm whispering. I guess it's just a natural reaction to how intense everything is at the moment.
Everyone, hang on!
How on earth am I going to survive this? I mean, I'm going to survive, obviously. This is Sergeant Jackson I'm playing as, one of the two protagonists, and we're only an hour or so into the game. I mean, come on. Someone will come and rescue me. Any second now. Any second. Oh. Well, that was unexpected. It's one of those moments, isn't it? Jackson's death in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. One of those remember where you were when moments. I mean, you'd have been in front of your PS3 playing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, obviously, but you get the idea. This was beyond shocking. In Call of Duty, you play as an invincible hero, bullets and explosions hammering around you as you improbably leap, slide and hurl yourself towards the next checkpoint. The quintessential, invincible protagonist. Until now. For me, what hits home hardest is the clinical military way in which the game moves forward. We zip back to the map. Sergeant Jackson, KIA, his body reduced to ash, his soul to digital data, and we plough on, that human being in whose shoes we walked, just wiped away. Maybe that's an interesting comment on how war dehumanises and reduces to numbers the people who fight them. What it definitely is entry number 1 on this list of 7 times you died for real in games. And naturally, as we're talking about characters dying, there will be spoilers. Check the description for the games listed and relevant timestamps if you want to skip anything. Okay, second entry, Killzone Shadowfall. This one is out of nowhere and is a real shocker. You've played the entire game as Lucas Kellen, only for Sinclair, the man who took care of you after your dad was killed, your mentor and father figure, kills you. It's so out of the blue, you'll be sitting there sort of stunned, still trying to take in what's happened, and then bam, credits. That's the end. What? Wait a second. Wait, not really. Here's more game. Oh, wait, am I still? No, you are dead. You are very dead. You're playing as Echo now, that other agent, and it's your job to assassinate the treacherous, warmongering, was behind it all along mastermind that is Sinclair. So yes, your character dies, for real, technically before the end of Killzone Shadowfall. At least the game continues long enough for you to take revenge on the swine that did it, though.
For Kellen.
Entry number 3, Red Dead Redemption. Now, if you're one of the 7 people who doesn't know how this ends, let me just reinforce that spoiler warning from before. There are timestamps in the description, etc. Because near the very end of Red Dead Redemption, John Marston, the man you've journeyed with for potentially hundreds of hours by now, gets filled with lead. I remember playing this for the first time and simply refusing to believe what was happening. I reloaded my save countless times, convinced that if I just shot faster and better, then I could somehow get out of that trap and earn the proper ending. Alas, that was not to be. There is only one ending, and John Marston dies. This is particularly galling because you can free roam after the end credits roll, but only as John's son, Jack Marston, which is fine, but you know, he's just not the same. Although I do particularly love the subtle narrative harmony of Jack and Edgar Ross's final meeting, occurring as Edgar is fishing, Jack with the power and the element of surprise, whereas in Red Dead Redemption 2, their first meeting is the scenario essentially flipped on its head, a young vulnerable Jack Marston out fishing with his Uncle Arthur, caught unawares by a young menacing Edgar Ross in his prime.
Enjoy your fishing, kid, while you still can.
Anyway, John dies. Unbelievable.
And when I die, don't bury me.
Entry 4 is Haytham Kenway from Assassin's Creed 3, a false protagonist who we were initially very surprised by, and then, over the course of the 2 hours or so you're in control of him, eventually fell a little bit in love with. In fact, Assassin's Creed 3 lets you be Haytham just long enough for that to happen, before whisking him away for an antagonist makeover, before forcing you to assassinate him 30 or so hours later. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Connor and that tomahawk, but something about Haytham, I don't know. There's an irresistible charisma to the man. I'd be a Templar for him, definitely. I mean, as with most of the Templars, he has a few valid points before you kill him anyway. But he was a terrible father, i.e. a non-existent father, which does seem to be somewhat of a recurring theme in video games. Haytham does break the rules of this list a little bit in that he doesn't die while you're controlling him, but when I realised I wasn't Haytham anymore after the first couple of hours, I did find myself in mourning for a bit, so I'm counting it as a symbolic death, okay?
I should have killed you long ago.
Entry 5, Final Fantasy XII.
Your name?
Rex, sir. My name's Rex.
Now, this shouldn't have been all that surprising. I knew before I even started this game the main character was called Varn, having watched every trailer and read every preview article approximately 47 times. And so when I exited the gorgeous intro cinematic and found myself controlling this guy, cool, must be just the tutorial character. Fine, I've been waiting for this game half a decade, I can wait a little longer. You know, I was fresh off the back of Kingdom Hearts 2. I was a hardened, you can't have the main character for the duration of the 3-hour prologue pro by now. However, in Kingdom Hearts 2, I don't remember Roxas being unceremoniously speared and killed off as soon as he'd finished being a conduit for the tutorial, which is what happens to Rex. What's even worse about this is that at the time you think it's Captain Bosch that's done it, when actually, spoilers again if you've ignored all the previous warnings, it's his evil twin brother just pretending to be him. He's all like, I'm Captain Bosch! From Dalmasca. And we all believed him. And so you see Rex's eyes slowly close, and you think to yourself, it's okay, this is Final Fantasy. They wouldn't kill off a main character, would they? It's the one you've probably all been typing in the comments since the start of the video at entry number 6, The Last of Us, a game that wastes no time in letting you know it's perfectly happy with getting you attached to a character and then tragically killing them before you've even fully got used to the controls. I mean, we sort of knew this was going to happen, right? Even though we didn't. The intro to The Last of Us is now legendary, a brutal narrative rope-a-dope that encourages you to love poor little Sarah, a bright, witty young woman who's funny, buys her dad nice birthday cards and likes football, before landing a stinging emotional knockout blow by having her shot dead inside the first 20 minutes. It's just devastating, even more so because The Last of Us somehow has you fully invested in this character instantly. We've talked on the channel before about how Sarah's bedroom is one of the most amazing places ever in a video game. It's an incredible example of environmental character building, an interactive gallery of Sarah's life so far. Even though pretty much everyone went into The Last of Us knowing it was a game about a harsh post-pandemic world, you can't help but let your guard down here. So when the horrible bit arrives, it's just perfectly devastating. Our final entry is a game I don't feel gets nearly enough love, and that's Telltale's Game of Thrones, a fantastic 6-part narrative series set in the same universe as the HBO show that follows various members of House Forrester as they navigate the deadly political dance of win or die. I mean, quite why I was surprised by this death, I don't really know. A, it's Game of Thrones, what did I expect? And B, Ramsay Bolton appears in this scene right at the end of episode 1. Of course something terrible is about to happen. And yet I was still caught out when the villain we all love to hate shoves his dagger in the throat of young Ethan Forrester right in front of his family before nonchalantly strolling away without a second's thought. What a bastard! Ethan was the main character. I'd been making decisions as him this whole time. I thought he was going to come out the end of episode 6 stronger, wiser, and probably bruised by tragedy, yes, but, you know, still having crested some kind of satisfying character arc. Again, this is Game of Thrones. Why I was shocked by a main character death, I don't know. This entire scene is really well done. A whole load of directorial trickery going on, flagging danger over here and over there, and then suddenly you realise this is all misdirection and the eye of the storm is right underneath your throat. Poor Ethan.
My son.
So there you are, 7 times you died for real in games. Were you shocked by any of these? Can you think of any examples we've missed? Let us know in the comments and give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Oh, and click that notification bell so you're always up to date with everything on the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you again next week for another Friday feature.
For the players.